Stop asking for intimacy. Make her feel it before you speak. Most men talk too much, move too fast, and hope she tells them what to do. They text long paragraphs, explain their intentions, and wait for green lights. They get polite smiles, delayed replies, and cold goodnights. Deep down, they feel it. Their desire sounds needy, not attractive. Here is the real trick with younger women. You do not request intimacy. You create the conditions that make her suggest it. Tonight we flip that script with a simple rule: lead with presence, not pressure. You will learn how to set the room, slow the rhythm, and speak less while saying more. You will see how eye contact, controlled breathing, and well-placed silence create heat without a sales pitch. We will keep it clean, respectful, and effective. We use Stoic focus, real boundaries, and clear intent. You will stop asking, start leading, and let her choose the moment without losing the frame. This is not about tricks or lines. It is the energy she feels before a touch. Once you master that, consent is natural and connection builds. By the end, you will know exactly what to do, what to avoid, and how to keep your power while inviting hers. Stay close now. Let's get into it. Number 1. She doesn't want weak energy. There's a reason polite men lose momentum. When a woman says, "Let's slow down," most guys instantly shrink. They edit themselves, mute their interest, and ask for permission at every step. She doesn't reject intimacy. She rejects the weak energy that shows up once you get nervous. Desire without backbone feels like noise, not leadership. Let me make this real. Thomas, 46, runs a small construction company in Phoenix. He meets Alyssa, 28, at a friend's housewarming. She's playful and used to men tripping over themselves. The spark is obvious. When she mentions wanting to take it slow, Thomas doesn't fold into politeness. He smiles, nods, and keeps his rhythm steady: eye contact, measured touch, clear boundaries, no rush. After 2 dates, she's initiating touch, sending good morning texts and hinting at plans. Contrast that with Eric, 50, a medical sales rep in Denver. He meets Brooke, 32, during a hiking meetup. Chemistry pops fast, then she says, "I'm not ready." Eric overcorrects. His messages get longer, his jokes get safer, and he starts polling her for permission. Is this okay? Should I slow down more? Within 10 days, the spark is dust. Not because he was disrespectful, but because he outsourced leadership to her emotions. Weak energy isn't kindness, it's hesitation. It's the over-explaining text, the constant check-ins, the nervous laughter that asks, "Was that okay?" Younger women read that instantly. The more you seek reassurance, the more she senses you're following her lead instead of setting the pace. Stoicism gives you the antidote. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Translate that: own your breath, tone, and timing. When she slows the tempo, you don't collapse, you align. You keep your plans, you keep your standards, you keep your center. Here's the practical frame: be clear, be calm, be brief. Speak with intent, then let silence carry the rest. If she tests you, comes late, teases, withdraws, respond, don't react. A simple, "We're good" paired with steady eye contact says more than a paragraph ever could. She is invited in, not installed as the mission. Use small, confident cues. Stand a half step closer when the vibe is right. Slow your voice. Hold eye contact through her smile, then look away first. Tiny assertions signal direction without pressure. You are choosing, not chasing. Keep your life visible but not performative. Training at 6 dinner with friends. If she texts at midnight, respond in the morning without apology. If plans slip, propose a new time and move on. When she flirts to regain control, smile, touch her lower back while guiding her through a crowd, and release. Say less, do less, mean more. The signal you send is simple. My attention is earned by alignment, not urgency. That steadiness feels like safety, and safety is the doorway to desire. Remember, boundaries make desire safe. If you avoid every edge, nothing sparks. If you crash past them, trust dies. Say what you will and won't do, then let actions verify it. Lock this in. She doesn't want a loud hero. She wants a steady signal. When your energy stays grounded, her guard falls on its own. When you honor her pace without abandoning yours, she leans in. That's not manipulation. That's adult polarity. Call your shot in the comments. I hold the frame. Then keep it. Stay tuned, because next you'll learn exactly how to lead without saying a word, and why silence done right turns interest into gravity. Number 2. Stop asking, start leading. Most men destroy attraction with one simple habit. They ask for what should be led. They ask, is this okay? Or, do you want to? Every time they sense tension, what they think is respect, women experience as hesitation. Because here's the truth: you can't negotiate desire. You can only create space for it to grow. When a younger woman feels your energy, she reads it before you say a single word. If she feels uncertainty, her instincts shift from surrender to defense. If she feels composure, calm, confident, directed, her guard lowers on its own. It's not dominance she's drawn to, it's direction. A man who knows what he's doing doesn't need to ask for permission to exist. Now, this doesn't mean ignoring consent, far from it. Real consent lives inside clarity. When your intent is steady and your presence calm, she feels both respected and desired. You're not asking her to validate you. You're leading her into trust. That's a huge difference. Stoic philosophy nails this perfectly. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." That's the frame. Decide who you are before you speak, and your words carry authority. Most men reverse it. They wait for her reaction to tell them who to be. But leadership starts internally. You can't lead her emotions if you're lost in your own. Think about the quiet moments when the air shifts, when she looks at you, waiting to feel something real. That's your cue. Don't fill the silence with chatter or flattery. Let the tension breathe. Look at her, stay still, and guide the rhythm with your tone, your proximity, your calm. Every movement becomes communication, slow, deliberate, intentional. Leadership in intimacy is not about control, it's about containment. You create a frame where she feels safe to explore without fearing chaos. The man who keeps his breathing slow and posture open tells her without words, "You're safe here, but I'm still the one driving." That's the sweet spot between security and excitement, the exact polarity that keeps her coming back. Weak men ask for permission because they don't trust their own instincts. Strong men invite participation because they trust their direction. When you stop asking and start leading, everything changes. Conversations flow easier. Her body language softens, her tone lowers, and the connection deepens naturally. Your energy becomes the environment. That's the essence of Stoicism in relationships: to lead through control of self, not control of others. When you master your tone, your pace, your emotional temperature, you're no longer reacting to her mood. You're setting it. She wants that. She might never say it out loud, but deep down she relaxes when a man takes the weight of uncertainty off her shoulders. Your leadership frees her to feel. So stop asking for reassurance. Stop waiting for permission to act like a man. Decide, move, breathe, guide. Because the moment you do, you stop being an option and start being the experience she can't stop thinking about. If you feel this truth in your gut, drop a comment below that says, "I lead with calm," because from here on, that's the energy she'll follow whether she realizes it or not. Stay with me, because next we'll break down why logic kills attraction and how to speak to her desire without saying a word. Number 3. Her desire isn't logical. Here's where most men lose the game without even realizing it. They keep trying to make her understand attraction when what she actually feels can't be explained. Desire isn't logic. It's rhythm, emotion, timing. When you try to talk her into wanting you, you're already losing. Let's make this real. David, 48, a fitness coach from Austin, started seeing Mia, 29, a photographer. She liked his confidence, but when he started analyzing everything, "I just want to know where this is going, or I feel like we're not communicating clearly," her attraction started fading. Not because he was wrong, but because he was pulling her into her mind, not her body. Every time he wanted connection, he opened a discussion, and every discussion drained the tension dry. One night, they're having dinner. He starts over-explaining why he respects her boundaries, why he's patient, why he's a gentleman. She looks at him, smiles politely, but her energy goes flat. Then he pauses. Something clicks. Instead of continuing, he leans back, looks her straight in the eyes, and stays quiet. The silence stretches just long enough for her to fidget, then laugh softly. What she asks? He just smiles and says, "Nothing. I like watching you think." Boom. She blushes. Conversation ends. The logic dies and desire wakes up. Men forget a woman doesn't reason herself into attraction. She feels her way there. The more you explain, the less she feels. Attraction lives in the subconscious, in tone, movement, scent, eye contact, stillness. When you try to translate that into words, you replace instinct with information. It's not that she doesn't care about what you say, it's that she's tuned into how you say it. If your energy is calm, playful, grounded, she'll feel it. If you're nervous, desperate to say the right thing, she senses the disconnect and withdraws. Think of it like music. You don't explain why a song moves you. You feel it because of the flow, the pauses, the contrast. Attraction works the same way. Logic is noise, energy is melody. And when your energy stays stable, she can relax into it, just like how a song's beat gives her body permission to move. So how do you use this? You stop trying to convince her. You start communicating in layers she can feel. Eye contact that lingers half a second longer. Breathing that stays steady while hers shifts. A tone that drops lower when she gets playful. Pausing before you speak, making her anticipate the next word. That's when she starts chasing the feeling of being around you, not the facts of your personality. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The same applies here. Don't debate attraction. Embody it. Because when you do, she'll find herself wanting you without understanding why, and that's the most powerful position you can be in. So here's the challenge. Stop explaining, stop analyzing, stop negotiating. Let her feel you. If that hits home, write in the comments, "I move in silence." And keep watching, because next we'll uncover the hidden art of non-verbal attraction, how to make her feel your intent before you even touch her. Number 4. Sexual energy is silent power. Most men think sexual energy means doing more, saying more, touching more, chasing harder. But real sexual energy doesn't need movement or noise. It's silent. It's the pressure that builds when you don't rush. The calm that makes her heart race before anything even happens. You've felt this before. That pause before the first kiss. The half-second of eye contact that feels like gravity. That tension. That's power. And the irony is, most men destroy it by trying to fill it with jokes, compliments, or questions. But women don't crave constant motion. They crave a man who can hold tension without breaking. In Stoicism, there's a simple truth. Mastery is control of the self, not the world. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That applies perfectly here. Sexual energy is not about dominating her. It's about mastering you. Your breath, your gaze, your presence. The quieter you become, the louder she feels you. Every move you make either increases or releases tension. When you talk nervously, the charge disappears. When you hold a calm silence, it grows. The trick is to stay aware, to know when to lean in and when to simply exist. Most men rush the moment because silence makes them uncomfortable. but silence is where attraction breathes. When your energy is grounded, she senses safety and mystery at the same time. You're not asking for her attention. You're commanding it by doing almost nothing. Your stillness becomes the invitation. Your composure becomes the signal. Think about what happens when you slow down everything, your breathing, your gestures, even your tone. You give her space to feel instead of think. And that's where attraction deepens. Logic can't compete with energy that steady. Stoicism teaches emotional restraint not as coldness but as precision. You channel intensity instead of leaking it. You replace impulsiveness with intention. You don't chase pleasure. You embody it. When you learn to be comfortable in that stillness, you no longer fear the pause. You become the pause. Women can sense that difference immediately. A man who's desperate to prove his sexuality pushes. A man who owns it waits. That patience drives her wild because she feels the control underneath it. It's not manipulation, it's polarity. You're showing that you can hold desire without needing permission to express it. This is where most men fail. They try to say they're confident. Real confidence is communicated without words. It's in how you occupy space. It's in the way your tone drops just slightly when you're serious. It's in the half smile that says, "I know what I want." Your goal isn't to chase arousal. It's to let her feel your restraint. That's the kind of energy that makes her replay the moment long after it ends. So if this message hits something in you, write in the comments, "I master my energy." Because when you do, she feels your presence even in silence. And if you're ready to master this level of control, join the Stoic Brotherhood membership. Inside, you'll get exclusive deep dives into attraction, masculine psychology, and emotional discipline lessons you won't find anywhere else. Join the Brotherhood today. Stay grounded, stay powerful. Now don't go anywhere. The next part reveals the quiet secret behind why calm men drive women crazy. Number 5. Calm men drive her wild. It's almost unfair how powerful calmness can be. Most men think women want excitement, the loud guy, the risk taker, the one who dominates every space he walks into. But that's surface-level attraction. What actually drives women wild isn't chaos, it's composure. The man who doesn't flinch when others react. The one whose energy stays steady even when she tries to test it. Let's make this real. Ethan, 45, a business consultant from Denver, met Nicole, 28, at a mutual friend's dinner. Nicole was used to men trying hard to impress her, big stories, loud energy, constant compliments. But Ethan was different. He spoke slowly, smiled rarely, and listened more than he talked. At first, she couldn't figure him out. "He's so calm," she told her friend. "It's kind of intimidating." Yet by the end of the night, she was leaning closer, laughing softer, watching his face for reactions that never came. Why? Because calmness feels like control. When a woman feels your steady energy, she feels safe enough to let go of hers. It's polarity at its peak. The masculine calm stabilizes the feminine chaos, and that's exactly what draws her in. Your silence, your patience, your restraint, all of it sends one subconscious signal: I don't need to chase because I already have control. Now, that doesn't mean being cold or detached. It's not about shutting down emotion, it's about mastering it. Stoicism teaches this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's what she feels when you're calm. You're not suppressing emotion, you're channeling it. Your stillness isn't emptiness, it's confidence without effort. It tells her that no matter what she does, whether she teases, challenges, or even withdraws, you won't lose your center. That unshakable presence becomes magnetic. Women test men not because they're cruel, but because they're searching for stability. When she throws a bit of emotional chaos your way, she's unconsciously asking, "Can you handle me?" And the moment you stay calm, really calm, she feels both admiration and surrender. She can relax because you won't collapse. Ethan didn't try to impress Nicole. He didn't perform confidence, he embodied it. When she got playful and tried to make him jealous, he didn't react. He smiled, took a sip of his drink and said, "You're cute when you test people." That one sentence flipped the dynamic completely. She blushed, and the game was over. Calmness creates tension. It's the space between what she says and how you respond that keeps her chasing the reaction you never give. It's a psychological loop she pushes to feel something from you, but your stillness keeps her guessing and craving. So what drives her wild isn't your aggression, it's your groundedness. It's knowing you could react, but choosing not to. It's the confidence that comes from self-mastery, not performance. That's what separates men who spark temporary attraction from those who leave a lasting impression. So if you understand this truth, that calmness is the real form of dominance, write in the comments, "I move with stillness." Because when you do, she'll feel your power without you saying a single word. And in the next part, we'll break down how your tone and body language can make her feel intimacy before you even touch her. Stay tuned, it's about to get deep. Number 6. Make her want to say it. Here's something most men never understand. A woman doesn't want to be asked for intimacy. She wants to feel compelled to offer it. The difference is subtle, but it changes everything. When you ask too soon, you shift her into her mind. But when you guide the energy right, she's the one who crosses the line first, because it feels like her idea. You see, attraction is not negotiation, it's suggestion. It's energy that moves beneath the surface of words. And when you're in control of that energy, she naturally follows it. Stoic philosophy explains this dynamic perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." In other words, control yourself, not her. A man who can master his own impulses, who can hold back when he easily could advance, becomes irresistible. Why? Because restraint amplifies desire. When you hold your frame, your calmness turns into a challenge she can't resist. You don't need to ask, "Do you want this?" She'll feel it in the way you pause, in the way your eyes hold hers a little longer than usual. You're showing her, not telling her that you know what you want, but you're not ruled by it. That balance between desire and discipline is what pulls her in. It's psychological gravity. Women crave men who make them feel safe yet on edge. When you can express both energies at once, steady presence and quiet tension, her imagination takes over. And once that happens, you don't need to say anything. Think of it this way: desire grows in silence. Every time you rush to fill that silence with words or moves, you break the spell. But when you hold stillness confidently, when you look at her as if you already know the answer, she feels seen, desired, and completely disarmed. She starts wondering, why isn't he making a move? That question alone is what makes her want to close the gap. Stoics teach us to find pleasure in self-control, to own the moment instead of being owned by it. And when you embody that, she feels your discipline as strength, not coldness. She starts to crave your approval, your attention, your touch, not because you demanded it, but because she earned it. This is the essence of silent dominance. You lead with energy, not pressure. You don't chase the yes, you create the space where she wants to say it. Here's the paradox. When you stop trying to get intimacy, you start to attract it. Because true masculinity doesn't force, it invites. The more patient you are, the more her curiosity builds. And curiosity is the root of desire. Remember this: the man who can sit in silence while everything in him wants to move is the one who controls the room. So when you're with her next time, don't rush, don't ask, just stay present. Look at her like you already know what she's thinking, and she'll eventually say what you were never going to ask. If this truth resonates with you, write in the comments, "I let her say it," because the moment she does, she's no longer reacting to your words, she's responding to your energy. And in the next part, you'll learn how to use that same restraint to make her chase emotional connection, not just physical attraction. Stay close. Number 7. Eye contact over words. Most men use words to connect with women, compliments, clever lines, playful teasing. But words only touch the surface. Real connection, the kind that makes her feel seen, drawn in, and slightly breathless, happens without a single sound. It happens through the eyes. Here's what most don't realize: eye contact isn't just about looking at her. It's about holding presence. When your eyes are steady, calm, and full of intent, you speak a language her body understands before her mind can even catch up. Let me show you how this plays out. Chris, 38, a physical therapist from Seattle, met Megan, 26, during a weekend hiking trip with mutual friends. She was talkative, witty, and clearly used to attention. Most of the guys around her tried to impress her, laughing loudly, interrupting, showing off. But Chris didn't compete. He watched, listened, and when she finally met his gaze, he didn't look away. He didn't smirk or fidget. He just looked, calm, steady, controlled. Within seconds, her voice softened. She lost her rhythm for just a moment, and that moment said everything. Why? Because eye contact bypasses the logical mind and speaks directly to instinct. It says, "I see you, but I don't need anything from you." That kind of gaze doesn't pull at grounds. It tells her that you're not impressed or intimidated. You're simply there, and your energy is enough. It's the same principle. Stoics lived by stillness as strength. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your mind is calm, your eyes reflect that calm. When your thoughts are scattered, anxious, needy, restless, she feels it instantly. Your eyes betray your inner world. That's why true power doesn't start with the look itself. It starts with what's happening behind it. A man who's present, self-controlled and grounded can say more with a glance than most men can with an entire conversation. And women can feel that difference. Your words might say one thing, but your eyes tell the truth. This is why long eye contact, when done right, feels electric. It's not about staring. It's about staying unshaken. When she looks away first, it's not a game of dominance. It's nature responding to stability. You've shown her that you can hold tension without breaking it. Chris didn't have to say a word that night. When they crossed paths again later, she approached him first. "You have this way of looking at people," she said. He smiled, said nothing, and she smiled back, biting her lip. That's the silent conversation that creates attraction. Here's what separates strong men from the rest. They don't use eye contact to chase validation. They use it to project calm certainty. And women crave that feeling more than anything. So the next time you talk to a woman, don't think about what to say. Think about how you look at her. Let your gaze be slow, patient, and still. Let it say, "I see you, but I'm not trying to convince you of anything." That energy will make her lean in every time. If this message hits something deep in you, write in the comments, "I speak without words." Because the strongest men don't need to raise their voices. Their silence already commands attention. And in the next part, we'll explore how that same stillness turns physical contact into something she feels long after it ends. Stay tuned. Number 8. Let silence do the work. Most men fear silence. They rush to fill it with words, jokes, explanations, anything that hides their discomfort. But what they don't realize is that silence, when used right, is one of the most powerful tools of attraction. It creates space, it builds tension, it makes her lean in. You see, when a man can sit in silence comfortably, it tells a woman everything she needs to know. It tells her that he's not trying to impress, not trying to fill the void with noise, and not afraid of stillness. That kind of energy speaks louder than any line ever could. Stoic philosophy has a deep respect for silence. Epictetus once said, "Let silence be your general rule," or say only what is necessary and in few words. To a Stoic, silence isn't emptiness, it's control. It's the ability to master yourself when others scramble for attention. Women feel that mastery instantly. Silence makes your presence stronger, not weaker. When you speak less, every word you do say carries more weight. When you don't rush to fill the gap, she starts to wonder what's going on in your mind. That curiosity, that tension, is what creates desire. Think about it. When two people talk and you suddenly stop speaking, not awkwardly but deliberately, everything slows down. She becomes aware of the space between you. Her mind races to interpret the quiet. Is he thinking about me? Did I say something wrong? Is he holding back on purpose? The moment she starts wondering, she's already emotionally engaged. That's the hidden power of silence. It makes her invest. The Stoics understood this too. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." When you're brave enough to let silence breathe, you free yourself from the need to control how others perceive you. You stop chasing validation and start commanding respect. When you sit across from a woman, whether it's at dinner, on a walk, or even during a deeper, more intimate moment, silence allows her to feel your energy instead of just hearing your words. It gives her room to experience the emotional current beneath the surface. And if that current is calm, steady, and confident, she feels safe enough to fall deeper into it. Most men sabotage that connection because they can't handle the pressure silence creates. But if you can sit in that stillness, relaxed shoulders, slow breathing, focused eyes, you project certainty. You become the calm in the storm of her emotions. And that to a woman is irresistible. Remember this, when you're silent, you give her space to reveal herself. People can't stand silence for long. They'll fill it with truth. She'll start opening up, saying things she didn't plan to, showing sides of herself she usually hides. And the man who can stay quiet long enough to listen, truly listen, becomes unforgettable. So don't rush your words. Don't compete for air. Let your stillness speak for you. If this message hits something inside you, write in the comments, "I mastered the silence." Because once you learn to let silence do the work, you won't need to prove your power. It'll radiate without sound. And in the next part, we'll explore how your energy, not your words, not your touch, becomes the invisible force that draws her closer without her even realizing it. Stay tuned. Number 9. Show intent, not need. There's a razor-thin line between a man showing desire and a man showing need. One makes her pulse quicken, the other makes her pull away. And most men, without realizing it, cross that line every time they try too hard to prove they want her. The truth is, women can feel the difference instantly. Intent is grounded, it's calm, it's confident. Need is anxious, chasing, uncertain. One says, "I want you because I choose to." The other says, "I want you because I have to." Let's take an example. Jason, 35, works in marketing in Austin. He met Emma, 27, at a local gym. She was fit, charming, and used to being approached. Jason didn't rush in. He smiled, made eye contact, and simply said, "You've got good form, most people mess that up." Then he walked away. No follow-up, no waiting for approval, just intent, clear, confident, and unforced. That single exchange stuck with her. A few days later, she approached him. That's the power of intent without need. See, women aren't drawn to men who chase. They're drawn to men who lead, men who express interest, but remain perfectly fine if it's not returned. It's the emotional equivalent of standing tall when others bow, and that's rare. When you show intent, you communicate masculine clarity. It says, "I know what I want, but I'm not defined by it." That's magnetic. Because most women are surrounded by men who hesitate, overthink, or over-explain. The man who can express attraction without expectation instantly stands out. Here's the deeper psychology: women crave polarity, masculine certainty that allows them to relax into their feminine energy. When you move from intent, she feels the leadership in your energy. But when you move from need, she senses emotional instability and instinctively withdraws. The Stoics understood this duality long before modern psychology. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste, No more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, stop convincing, start being. Intent is action, need is talk. Jason didn't text Emma 3 times a day or compliment her endlessly. When they met again, his tone was direct but relaxed. Let's grab coffee this week. No begging, no nervous energy, just a statement. That's masculine presence action backed by composure. This is why calm men always appear more desirable. They radiate abundance. They don't approach from a place of lack. Their mindset is simple. If it's meant to connect, it will. If not, I move on. That quiet detachment creates tension, the good kind. Because now she's wondering, why isn't he trying harder? Does he not care? That mystery pulls her in, and your restraint becomes more powerful than any pickup line. The irony is, when you stop trying to win her, you start to influence her. Because women are wired to sense when a man's confidence comes from within, not from their reaction. So if you ever find yourself wanting to impress, stop and remember, attraction isn't built on effort, it's built on energy. Show up with focus, purpose, and stillness. Let her feel your intent through your presence, not your words. If this lesson hits home, write in the comments, I show intent. Because when you master that balanced desire without dependence, you stop being just another man in pursuit and become the man she silently hopes notices her. Stay tuned, because what comes next will show you how to turn that intent into effortless attraction that feels almost hypnotic. Number 10. Own your desire without apology. There's something rare, almost forgotten about a man who's unapologetic about what he wants. Not pushy, not arrogant, just clear. Because clarity in a world full of hesitation feels like dominance, and to a woman that's intoxicating. Most men hide their desire behind humor, politeness, or endless small talk. They're afraid of being judged, afraid of rejection, afraid of being too much. But here's the truth. Desire that's hidden becomes weak. Desire that's owned calmly, confidently, becomes magnetic. When you own your desire, you're not trying to get something from her. You're simply expressing your truth without shame, without flinching. It's not about lust. It's about integrity. You're being real about what you feel. This doesn't mean crossing lines or being aggressive. It means holding steady eye contact and letting your energy do the talking. It means when you compliment her, your tone is slow, grounded, and deliberate. You're not asking for her approval, you're offering presence. That's what separates powerful men from the rest. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When your thoughts are clean, your intent becomes clean. Women can feel that. They can tell when a man's attraction is driven by insecurity versus when it's fueled by quiet certainty. The first feels needy, the second feels irresistible. Owning your desire also means you don't hide behind detachment. Some men swing the other way. They suppress their attraction in an attempt to seem stoic. But repression isn't strength. It's fear disguised as discipline. True Stoicism doesn't deny passion, it masters it. The Stoic man feels everything deeply, but nothing controls him. So when you feel drawn to her, when the chemistry is undeniable, don't shrink away from it. Hold that tension. Smile slightly. Let her feel that pulse between you. You don't have to say much. Your stillness says it for you. I want you, but I don't need you. This kind of masculine ownership rewires how women respond to you. Because now you're not asking permission to desire her, you're inviting her into your world. That's a completely different energy. One that's confident, respectful, and free of desperation. Let's ground this in reality. Imagine a man in his 40s, well-kept, centered, with quiet confidence. When he's talking to a woman half his age, he doesn't hide the attraction, but he doesn't make it the focus either. He lets the moment breathe. She feels it. The way he looks at her, pauses, and says her name slowly, that's ownership. No nervous laughter, no over-explaining, just presence. That's what owning desire looks like, not words, but an energy that can't be faked. Because when you've done the inner work, when you've built discipline, purpose, and control, your desire becomes refined. It stops being wild and becomes powerful, focused, elegant. And that's exactly what pulls women in. They don't just crave your body, they crave the certainty that comes with it. The sense that you know who you are, what you want, and you'll never apologize for either. Remember, this confidence isn't about being loud. It's about being clear. And nothing is more attractive or more masculine than a man who can look a woman in the eye and silently communicate. I desire you. I'm not hiding it, but I don't need you to complete me. Because in that moment, she doesn't just see your strength, she feels it. That's the kind of energy that lingers long after you walk away. That's the essence of Stoic attraction, self-mastery, expressed through calm, unapologetic desire. So let's wrap this up. What you've just learned isn't about tricks, manipulation, or chasing validation. It's about embodying calm, grounded masculinity, the kind that naturally draws women in without a single word. Every principle we covered, from mastering silence to owning your desire, leads back to one truth. Power comes from control, not from chasing. When you stop seeking approval, when you lead with quiet strength instead of need, women feel it. Your presence alone becomes magnetic. That's the essence of Stoic attraction, self-mastery, that commands respect and ignites desire at the same time. If you want to go deeper into these principles, to truly master the art of masculine energy, relationships, and Stoic power, join the exclusive members community. You'll get access to advanced lessons, weekly insights, and private discussions that help you elevate not just your dating life, but every area of your growth as a man. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss new videos that dive even deeper into male psychology, Stoicism, and the subtle art of attraction. Thanks for watching, my friend. Stay grounded, stay powerful, and I'll see you tomorrow.